All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today we're doing something a little unusual. We're going to take a document that most of us, let's be honest, kind of dread, a college syllabus, and we're going to treat it like it's a map to a hidden treasure. So let's dive in and see what secrets this thing is hiding. I mean, that's a question that makes a lot of people's palms sweat, right? But what if the answer wasn't some big secret? What if it was all laid out for us, right here, week by week, in a document for an Introduction to Public Speaking course? So let's just reframe this for a second. This isn't just some class you have to get through. Think of it like a quest, an 18-week journey. And this syllabus, well, that's our map. It's going to show us the way, the challenges we'll face, and what we get at the end when we finally find our voice. And look, this whole quest, it's not just about, trying not to say a million times. The mission statement here frames it as something much bigger, applying these theories of rhetoric in, and this is a quote, a multicultural democratic society. So what does that really mean? It means this is about learning how to actually engage with the big ideas out there in the world. Every great quest has a guide, right? And in this case, it's Dr. Jeremy Shermak. And he sets this amazing tone right from the get-go. He literally tells students they are never interrupting me because that time is dedicated to you. Wow. I mean, that's a powerful signal. Your guide isn't some gatekeeper. He's on your team. Okay, so any journey is going to have rules. That's a given. But instead of thinking of them as like these annoying restrictions, let's call them the rules of the road. It's the code that makes sure everyone on this quest has a fair shot at making it to the end. And the very first rule? It's super simple, and it's pulled right from the syllabus, quoting Woody Allen of all people. 80% of success is just showing up. I mean, that says it all. You have to be there. The quest really demands that you show up, and not just, physically, but with your head in the game, because so much of the real learning happens right there, in that room with everyone else. All right, then we get to a much more serious rule of the road. Basically, being honest about your own work and respecting other people's work, it's completely non-negotiable, and the consequences are serious. The message here is crystal clear. Your voice has to be your own. And, that idea sets us up for a really modern-day challenge. And here it is, the big conflict of our times, right? In a nutshell, the whole point of this class, this quest, is for you to develop your own voice. So if you just use AI to write your stuff, well, you're missing the entire point, right? The syllabus is super clear about this. First time you do it, you get a 0, but you can redo it for half credit. Okay, but the second time, it's a 0, full stop. You can see this policy is all about protecting the whole reason the course exists in the first place. All right, now we're getting to the good stuff. This is like the training montage of our quest. There are 4 big trials you have to get through, the speeches, and each one is designed to build a totally different skill. And you can see the progression here is just so smart. It's so deliberate. You start in week 3 with a personal story, something you know well. Then you level up to an informative speech where you're teaching. Then it's the persuasive speech where you're trying to change minds. And it all wraps up with a special occasion speech. It's this really carefully designed staircase taking you from the personal all the way to the public. Okay, so you've gone through the trials, you've done the speeches, but how do they actually measure success on this quest? How is your grade actually put together? Let's take a look. So you can see the 4 big speeches. Yeah, they're the biggest piece of the pie at 40%. But that's not even half the grade. The other 60%, that comes from just participating, writing reflections, and doing quizzes. And that tells you something really important. The journey itself, the showing up, the thinking, the day-to-day stuff, is actually valued more than the final performance. Okay, I have to say, I absolutely love this little detail. This isn't your typical rounding policy. It's a policy of what I'd call radical transparency from the guide, Dr. Shermak. He's literally laying out exactly how every single fraction of a point is calculated. There's no guessing, no begging for points at the end of the semester. It's just clear, fair, transparent math. So as we get near the end of our map here, it becomes so obvious that this quest was never meant to be a solo mission. I mean,
This document is just full of resources, which shows you it's not just a list of rules and assignments. It's a whole supportive system, an ecosystem really, that's built to help you make it.
And wow, what a support network it is. It's not just about, oh yeah, I have office hours. No, it includes these proactive alerts that get sent if you start falling behind. There's dedicated support for students with disabilities, for undocumented students, and even for students who have kids. It just goes to show you that this quest was designed with a real safety net underneath.
And for the students who really crush it, who really excel on this quest, there's a path to another reward, a letter of recommendation for whatever's next. And look, the steps are just laid out, plain as day. You just have to finish the journey with integrity and put in the effort. And your guide is right there, ready to help you get to your next adventure.
So, there you have it. We've deconstructed the map. We can see the whole path, from being a nervous speaker to becoming a confident communicator. But the syllabus leaves us with this one final, absolutely brilliant twist. You see, the reading for the very last week of class, it's Chapter 4, Listening Skills. How perfect is that? Which leaves us with a final thought, a big question really. After spending a whole semester learning how to find your own voice, are you ready to do the even harder work of truly listening to others?